Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Jennifer with the Rahab Center. So I wanted to come on today and bring my good friend Georgia Harrison on. I've known Georgia now for 7, 8 years. It's been a while. Time goes fast when you're having fun. So I want to take some time and talk to you about Georgia a little bit. So she's a former adoption and foster care worker, and she left the industry to make a bigger impact on the community and help individuals and families on a smaller scale. So she now runs Littlest Starfish Therapeutic Foster Home in Colorado Springs with her husband and her 2 adult children. They have 4 adopted children, and those 4 adopted children have special profound needs. At any given time, they can have up to 9 other children in their home. That's a lot of kids. And they can have, let's see, you've had a total of 50 children over the years. Is that correct?
Over 50.
Wow, that's a lot of kids. But I know you're making an impact. So I brought Georgia on today because she's been in this for so long that she's seen the changes in the industry, and she also knows about reunification. And I thought she'd be the perfect person to come on and help us all understand the reunification process that the parent or parents have to go through in order to get their child back. So Georgia, thank you for taking the time to come on and speak with us today. And I wanted to see if you could just explain to us a little bit about what the process is that the parent or parents have to go through in order to be reunified with their children.
Absolutely. So children are generally in foster care for a number of reasons due to physical, sexual abuse, or neglect. It can be there's just so many different reasons. It's hard to pinpoint it into one reason. Oftentimes drugs or alcohol abuse is involved, but not always. Once the children have been removed from the parents, always reunification is the #1 priority. Doesn't matter whether you're an adoptive foster home or not, reunification is the priority. And I think the most important thing to remember is these biological parents, they love their children. And we specifically practice a model of foster care called family-to-family model of foster care, which means we walk alongside the biological parents and help them with reunification. And what that means is they have to follow their service plan. And that service plan is specifically written to address the needs for why that child is in foster care to begin with. If it was, abuse, we're looking at parenting classes. If it's drugs or something, you're looking at the parents needing to take either rehab or some kind of counseling. It could be domestic violence, so they need to take classes for that. They need to make sure that they have safe housing. They need to make sure that they have resources for that children, proper daycare or schooling. Whatever it is that is in that family's need is what they need to prove that they can do as the parents in their family service plan. And once those things are complete, and there are so many steps to that, then over the course of weeks or months, or even in the case of some children, it could be years, they are working towards reunification, which means the children are then placed back into their custody.
I know it's a lot of work for them to go through this process, but I do know that there are some parents out there that want to take the steps and do eventually get their children back. Do you happen to know what that percentage is, maybe, of what parents that do get them back versus those that don't?
I really don't know the percentage, but typically they do go back to their biological parents, and that is what the ideal outcome is for those children.
Yes. So do they continue to get support after they are brought back together as a family?
Typically not. There might be a period of what's called a supervision period that the Department of Human Services Child Protection will do, but that usually doesn't last more than 3 to 6 months, and then the families are oftentimes on their own. And even though these families during the reunification process are working towards their service plan, they are often on their own to make sure that those things are are happening. It is a lot, and it's overwhelming, especially if you don't have a foster home that is practicing that family-to-family model of foster care.
Mm-hmm. So in the family-to-family model of foster care, you actually walk with the birth parents to help them correct?
Absolutely. Right now during quarantine, I am being the supervisor for many Zoom visitation with parents. I've been to doctor's appointments with parents before, many times. I've done doctor's appointments with the biological parents. We're helping to right now. I'm helping to provide some emotional support for a child that's already gone home. Not the child, but the mom, because she doesn't have anybody. And I think that that's really important to recognize that these families have nobody, or they oftentimes wouldn't be in this situation if they had somebody who was safe and knowledgeable in parenting or resources. They wouldn't be in this situation to begin with. So it's really important that they have somebody walking side by side with them, and not all foster parents are able to do that.
Yeah, that's a big ask. I know of foster parents. It's a pretty scary road as it is being a foster parent. But it's one that's very blessed to be able to do that if you're led that way. I've talked to many people that are foster parents, and every one of them, they have just been led by God to go down that road. So if you are considering being a foster parent, I tell you, just pray about it. Let God work on your heart with it. It is important that these parents have support afterwards. So Georgia, can you tell me how we at the Rahab Center can maybe get involved and help some of these, especially the women? Our services are strictly towards women right now. Not to say that we wouldn't help a couple if they were together, but can you tell me how we can possibly help and get involved and support these moms so that they can, I call it knowing their worth. I feel like a lot of these moms, they don't know their worth and they don't know who they are in God. And it just really breaks my heart to see that. So that's one thing we strive for, is to show them who they are and help them see their worth.
Absolutely. I think any parent, whether you are struggling or not, needs somebody to walk beside them. It's so important to have somebody to be your support. And especially when you are either a new parent because your child was placed straight from the hospital, or you are trying new things with what you have been taught, trying to implement that. And some of these children have challenges, and so it's so important. And what I could see the Rehab Center being valuable with is being that support for these moms who need extra. They need to I don't know, I'm frozen. I don't know if you are.
You're okay. I can see you. Good.
So they need somebody to walk beside them when they're in their good times and when they're in their bad times. Somebody to support and to ask questions. This happened at my job. How do I respond? I don't like my childcare. How do I get a new childcare? And should I be seeking new childcare? How do I get resources that aren't just government based? How do I find further education so I can be a better parent and provide a better life for my kids? Or I've had a really bad day. I feel horrible about the decisions I've made today. Help me. Just somebody that can be there on the other end of the phone or the other side of a table and say, I need help and it's okay. And provide that help to them.
Well, that would be great. We'd love to come alongside of you and help in any way that we can. I know what that feeling's like. Even on a good day, we all mess up as moms, and it's okay. And we've all cried, and we've all prayed, and we've locked ourselves in the bathroom and like, why did I do that? But, it's okay. I can tell you it's going to be okay. Just the one thing that I've learned over the years is to humble yourself and go to your child and say, you know what, I'm sorry, Mom, you shouldn't have handled it that way. Can we redo this? And it takes a lot to get to that step. So,
and you make a good point, because these women are going to make mistakes. We all do. Yes. And when that mistake happens, instead of picking up a glass of something you wish you isn't good for you, or instead of going out on a date with somebody that's not good for you, or instead of quitting your job or whatever, having a resource to say, okay, we are going to do what I call a do-over. Somebody to teach you that do-overs are okay, whether it's your children needing a do-over or you yourself needing a do-over, so that you don't find yourself with your children back in foster care.
Exactly. Now, does that happen a lot, Georgia, where they get their child back and then the child ends up back in foster care and they eventually end up losing the child? Are you seeing that a lot?
We definitely see that more than we would like. And that is a broken trust when that happens. It's a broken trust, not only the child with the parent, they've lost that trust because they went back and they trusted that everything was going to be safe. And then they also have broken trust with the foster system. These people promised to protect me and it didn't happen. These people promised to love me and they stopped. And so when a child has to return to foster care, that is like the worst possible outcome.
Yeah, I'm sure the child, that's really hard on them to be taken from the parent in the first place and they don't understand. And then to go back and then to come back again. I can just only imagine what goes through their little minds. I don't wish that for any child. And when I seen the statistics that there's 4 million children in the United States in foster care, that does not sit with me well at all. There should not be that number. So we are here at the Rahab Center to step forward and help in any way that we can with this, to support these moms through this so that they're able to keep their children and know their worth and have those successful lives. So if any of you out there are in this situation, feel free to reach out to me or Georgia, or we can get you in touch with someone else. We are here to help you. We want you to be a successful mom. And when I say successful, it's not going to be a success every day, and it's not pretty every day, but I know that you can do it with the support and the help. So Georgia, is there anything else that you would like to add?
I just want to say, if you find yourself in a situation where you need help, just ask for it. So many people are willing and able to step up. And I think that the Rehab Center is a really great, valuable resource for those women who don't have anywhere else to go.
Well, we're definitely here with open arms is the best way I can describe it. We're here. We're not perfect either, but we're here to walk with you and we can figure it out together. And we do have many resources in our pocket that we can help get you guided to the right resources as well. With that being said, though, I want to make it very clear that we are not an organization that will pay your rent or give you money for groceries or anything like that. That is not what our organization does, but we are here to stand beside you and help you in any way possible. So Georgia, I want to thank you so much because I know you're a busy mama with all those special needs babies, and God bless you for what you do. I don't know how you do it, but every time I get to see you, I'm just in awe of you. My heart just melts. I'm like, one day I'm going to be like Georgia. And So thank you so much for what you do, because I know that you have blessed many, many families over the years that you've done this. So yes, I love you. My heart just, every time I see her, I just, So Georgia, thank you so much for taking the time. Look, I'm tearing up to come on with you, because that's how much you mean to me. She just, if you guys got the chance to meet Georgia and understand her heart and passion, you would know where I'm coming from. So Georgia, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing this time with us. And so I love you, and we will talk soon, okay?